Move up the coast and up the hill to the next hot subject, which is Marymount.
Boy, does this never stop.
Up the coast, up the hill. There we go.
That's
Marymount has been making headlines, and for several reasons. One, they were approved for a 4-year accreditation,
right,
and they'll be having a celebration of that. And so the discussion was, of course, how would that impact the community if they turned to a 4-year college? What are your thoughts just on that milestone for the school?
Well, first of all, I was invited to that event. I'm sorry I can't be there. As people will know, this is a busy time of year for accountants.
Yes.
Taking time for interviews like this is about the time we can work in, and unfortunately, that particular day I have appointments and meetings. But I did send to Dr. Brophy a note of congratulations. I don't read anything into that, however it is that I might vote, but it reflects or represents the hard work by a lot of folks there, and they still should be recognized for qualifying for the accreditation. Now, I can't speak to the merits of it, but I do know that they worked hard for it. Now, there were, as last we left off, so that people understand what it is that the council has done, or is about to do, on Tuesday, March 30th, the City Council is going to meet and begin the hearings in earnest. The last meeting we had within the last month had to do with what we called, I believe, Appendix D to the EIR, relating to what arose out of our last meeting, having to do with specifically what a 4-year school means to this project, and also about relocation of the soccer field. I'll talk about that in just a minute. But nevertheless, that was our plan, and we might even, we're trying to work out the details too, because I said if we don't conclude on that on the 30th, I don't want to wait another month. I want to be able to meet the following night, and they're trying to arrange that date right now. Now, that was just on the project that we had in front of us, and I'll save you from asking me the question. Well, what do you think about the ballot proposal? Maybe
right. But you're a baseball guy. I was going to say, did they throw you a curveball with the efforts now to have a petition drive out to the community, right, to have a ballot measure, which would then put their project before the voters?
To give you a direct answer, yes. You used the right phrase. It was a curveball. I didn't see it coming, or anybody else. Very unique situation.
So will you explain to our voters, the residents, I should say, what is actually happening?
What's happened here is that the school is proposing, and I may not be the right spokesperson for this, but explaining it. But basically, the school has made the statement that what they want to do, and they've presented us with the papers, they're going to start a petition. They need to go out and gain signatures to basically get approval for a plan that they want, as opposed to the plan that now has come to us. And I'll speak to the differences here in just a second. But nevertheless, this is what the school believes is best for the school. Now, it's very unique. There are only 2 similar situations that we've ever had, and nothing to this scale. So what we need to do is make sure as a city that we understand the difference between what is going to be in front of us on the 30th and ultimately what they're going to propose. For the record, on the meeting on the 30th, we will not be discussing their proposal. Mm-hmm. We're going to be discussing what they've applied for. Now, we did a cursory comparison between what they've proposed and what's in front of us. And basically, along with some other items, but the single largest item is the fact that they're asking for dorms to be put back on the property. That was, those dorms were, let's see, they knew where the only decisions ever made on this, by the way, have been by the Planning Commission. And the Planning Commission let it be known that they weren't keen about the dorms. The school, removed them from the proposal so that they didn't come back.
Because beyond the dorms, they're making massive improvements to the campus, including...
Yes, ma'am. They're refurbishing virtually all their buildings. They have, some of them will be, very nice and beautiful and a great improvement to that. But they also want to relocate their soccer field. They have other plans, other items. One of the, I think there are three differences. I was about to say four, but three principal differences. The student dorms, soccer field location, and time phasing. They have heard from us that we were concerned about the length of this. Now, I should explain to everybody, and people should understand, this is the first time that the City Council really has an opportunity to make a decision on anything related to Marymount.
And this has been going on for 10 years.
It's been going on for 10 years. What happened is that they came close to having a proposal with dorms and all that, and they were going to make it in front of the City Council. They, Marymount, withdrew that. The plans have gone on. They've been to the Planning Commission. Everybody can read about that history. But then they came to us in September, and we thought we were ready then for decisions, you know, deliberations, taking testimony and all that. Just prior to that meeting, like just prior, either the day before or that day, we learned that they were wanting to go from a 2 to a 4-year school. Now, I can't discuss the merits of that because I didn't know. I'm not a student of educational facilities and the impact that they have on the community, so we needed some help. So we asked for two things during that meeting. We didn't make any decisions. We asked for two things to help us along. One, tell us the differences between a 2-year and a 4-year school. Do you have more traffic? Do you have, students are capped, but do you change the mix between student and faculties? What impact does that really have on traffic and the environment? None of us knew, so we needed help with that. Secondly, we asked, because, and this is an issue that has been of concern to me, is the location of the soccer field. And I said, my issue regarding the soccer field location is safety, you know, whether or not any soccer balls could find their way into Paddlesbury Drive east. So that's part of that study that was done. Okay, so now that EIR has been completed. We've seen that addendum. Now we have the reports that are being rewritten, and all this will come back to us, and that's what we're going to discuss. So if people are thinking, I'm going to come to the City Council meeting on the 30th and discuss their new initiative proposal, no, we're not going to do that. What we're going to be, because first of all, that won't be on our agenda. What will be on our agenda will be the issue, the proposal that they're putting forward, or they have put forward. And they could change their mind and take that off, you know.
But if they do push forward and they get the signatures and they put this measure on the ballot and let the residents decide whether these dorms should go forward and everything, and it was approved, then does the city have recourse, or that's that? If they
that's a good question. We probably need the city attorney in here to talk about the nuances between them. It's my understanding that if they put it forward as an initiative, that then indeed that would take precedent over what approvals we might have, although there are, the building items are still subject to planning checks and safety inspections and those kinds of things. I can't speak to all the rest of it. As I said, we are in uncharted waters. We don't know. We're taking this a step at a time. And I don't want to rush through any of this. I want to make sure that we do our job, speaking of what the City Council is about, and then I will let the rest of it unfold. It is unique in the fact that what it does, it's going around established city government. Now, I haven't run into that before.
Right, I was going to ask you if this in all years of being on the council. And I didn't know, too, if there's anything as we wrap up Marymount, if there are any misconceptions or myths. You know, I think the challenge is that obviously we all think of Marymount as a great neighbor and a very important part of the community, but then you're in a tough spot when it gets contentious like this, and is that they know what they want, the city's looking out for city interests and all of that. So
well, what happens?
How can it become win-win, I guess?
Yeah, I'm not sure, as a matter of fact, Liz. I cannot see, somebody is not going to be happy about something. As may happen with any issues that relate to neighbors. We have a very well-informed neighborhood because they have to live with that. We have residents elsewhere in the city that don't live there. In others, they view this as an issue between neighbors. Ultimately, if the issue relating to the dorms, and it's been asserted, I'm not going to go into this right now, that it relates to high-density development, then indeed that might garner more interest from the community. But I'm going to let that unfold. That is not for the City Council right now discuss. We may be gathering information about it, but
So stay tuned and keep going to that city website for all the updates.
yes,
on
ma'am.
this
And
issue.
I'll focus on what's going to happen on the 30th.